Okay, you know what, everybody? They say time flies when you're having fun. And we here at the ELF Live Show cannot believe that it is the final week of the regular season. The season has flown by, and that's because we've been having a lot of fun here. But I'll tell you what, I'm already shaking right now for the games that we've got this week, and a lot of high stakes, high profile games that mean a lot. We're going to be talking about them here on our final regular season show of ELF Live. I'm Nick Alfieri, your co-host, and I am here, of course, with my man, Matt Bressington. What's going on, Matt? Are you as anxious and excited as I am for these games this weekend?
Oh, I am. I've been on the phone all week. People asking me, people messaging me, what happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? What's going to do, if this team makes it, does this team make it? Luckily, Nick, we're going to go all the way through that today for the fans so that my phone can stop blowing up.
There we go. Stop blowing up Matt Bressington's phone, okay? We're gonna talk about it, what goes on. Everybody in the chat, what's up? I see Karen Hogg is already in there. Karen, I'm going to be calling your Munich Ravens game this weekend. All right, so tune into that. We're going to be going through our individual game previews, talk about who we think is going to win, and then we are going to talk about the playoff situation. A lot of different things can happen. We've got some graphics that we'll throw up to walk you through what can happen if this team wins or this team wins or this team wins. Very exciting. A lot of stuff to talk about in our final regular season show. All the chats are interconnected, so wherever you're watching from, feel free to participate. We need your input here. I'm also going to need you to help me build my fantasy team at the end of the show. And make sure you stick around because there's a little advertisement that yours truly made. I got myself on a scooter, okay? You guys will see that later on in the show. Matt, I'm talking a lot, man. It's because I'm excited. Do you think we should dive on into these games?
I think we absolutely should. I can't contain my excitement anymore, Nick. I need it.
There we go. Let's get into it. Week 14, the final week of ELF football regular season. Starting off, man, I know we're saying it was a lot of exciting one. This one, perhaps not the most exciting. Got the Stuttgart Surge. They left last night, taking that long bus ride to Fehervar, too hungry to play the Enthroners, who are coming off that awesome win, beating Berlin last week. So good for them. I love to see a one in the win column for the Enthroners. What do you got here, Matt? What do you make of this? The Surge they do have a little bit on the line here. They have secure, or you know what? Maybe they don't have anything on the line. I think they're in a pretty good spot. What do you make of this?
I mean, they're pretty safe, and This team is a team that likes to rotate a lot. Arguably, probably if they're gonna throw out a random stat that I do not know is checked at all. I would say they probably had the most players play for them this season that started.
Interesting.
Not including teams like the Mercenaries, but they have got a lot of heavy rotation. Maybe we'll see a bit of Lars this week at quarterback, which would be fun. But they're expected to win this. For Fehervar, I mean, that's a long trip for Stuttgart to make. Maybe they'll be a little bit slow. Fehervar can maybe come out aggressive and maybe put some points on the board because John Cole's been looking great. I'm going to predict him to go over 1,000 yards. Not a very hot take. He only needs like 9 yards to get it. But he could be comeback player of the year, Nick.
Hot take right there. I will say, I think it was last year when the Stuttgart Surge took that long bus ride up to Poland to play the Panthers. They started off slow. They really were a bit sluggish on that. And it's understandable when you have a bus ride like that. So I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a little bit of Enthroner action there, maybe a little John Cole touchdown here and there, and also depending on who the Surge are putting on the field. So this one, I do believe that the Surge are going to come away with the win. But the Enthroners, building off that momentum and headed into 2026, I think there's something special there. You got the Surge as well, I'm guessing?
I do. But I think for Fehervar, this season have made the biggest jump from like where they were at the start to where they are now. I think they've made clear adjustments. They've clearly a better team. I think this team now puts 40 on the team that we saw at the start of the year.
Oh, yeah, dude. Absolutely. I'm really curious. If Fehervar makes some good moves in the offseason, a la Prague Lions this offseason, who knows, man? Who knows? You can turn around like that in this league. Oh, we've got Joe Brown here. Ryan Fire going to get revenge. Chris Tebbett, give me Frankfurt, give me that. We're going to be talking about those games. Those are some big games, and we're going to be talking about here. All right, let's move on to our next one. Karen, pay attention. I see you're already on your way to beautiful Wrocław. So you're going to be in person at this game cheering on your Munich Ravens, who are going to be taking on the Panthers of Wrocław. Ravens, you guys are in, and you guys are playing to secure a bye week. All right. Now, these two teams played a few weeks ago. It wasn't incredibly competitive, Matt. I think he's talking about it was 34-14. What do you make of this? The Panthers have nothing to lose, and the Ravens, they really want to get that bye week. What do you make of this game?
Yeah, this is going to be big for that bye week. Every team would like to just rest up for a bit. And it's kind of like you earned that during the whole course of the year. They've only lost one time. It was the Surge. So, it's a respectable loss. This one for me is going to come down to Malik Stanley. I don't think this is going to be, I know it's going to annoy some people. I don't think the Panthers have anyone that can handle Malik Stanley. Like, he's too big. He's too physical. Sometimes you go a little bit quieter in games because the run game is so effective for Munich. But I think this is the game we see him pop off because, again, he's not that far off 1,000 yards. I think that's quite a big achievement for a receiver. I think he would like it. And, okay, I think it's a former team. It's a former team as well. So, just that little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the Ravens, they're trying to – I feel like they've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder here. I think that this is perhaps as close to their year as we have seen. And – Tabor time is a big part of that, man. I'm excited to call this one. I do think the Panthers might, give them a little bit of a run for a while, but ultimately the Ravens are going to pull away. They just got too much talent. Tabor to Stanley, one of my favorite duos in the league, even though Malik Stanley, not a fan of my sports takes. I am going to be giving him his props tomorrow during the broadcast. I'm going Munich Ravens. Matt, who do you got?
I'm with you. I think the Panthers, just too many costly turnovers, too many mental mistakes going into this season. They've been close a couple of times, but they've just not been able to get, the full potential out of some of their roster this season. It's been a weird one for the Panthers, honestly, this year. Obviously, I found a member of the year left. They've been here for a long time, but maybe this was a development season for them. Test out some new stuff and maybe come into next year a bit fresher.
There we go. Joe Brown agrees with us. They say the Ravens will win. Karen says, heck yes, we need that bye week so Matt's mom can organize her trip. Karen really wants your mom to go to the Munich Ravens home playoff game,
Matt. She does. That would be great, but my mom's working, I would see what, it's unlikely, unfortunately, just due to work. But
Karen, go ahead and organize that. See if it's in the budget to fly out one of their top fans from the United Kingdom. All right. It's a special season for the Munich Ravens. All right. So we both got them. Let's move on, Matt. This is one of the most anticipated games. Saturday night, 6 p.m. Central European time. The rematch. Paris Musketeers traveling to Vienna to take on the Vikings. This was a good game when they played earlier in the season. 40-33. They were trading scores back and forth. Vienna scored with 2 minutes left, the go-ahead touchdown when they played a few weeks ago. Paris has everything on the line on this one, Matt. Paris is one of the two teams who control their own destiny this week. Them and the Rhine Fire. If Paris win, they are in. So it's all in their hands. Matt, talk to me. What do they have to do to be able to get over the hump of the Vienna Vikings and find themselves back in the playoffs, my brother?
Gosh, it's just so intense, isn't it? Like, you got the team, they met oh my God, they met earlier in the year. It was a shootout, great game, great classic game, very high scoring considering we didn't think that would be the case going in because two elite defenses. But like you said, they control their own destiny. They can, oh man, I'm so excited to watch this game. I'm getting just thinking about it. I don't know who's going to win this one. I'm going back and forth in my head. The Paris defense has been so great all year. Vienna's defense has been so great all year. Paris's offense has been mostly good, very conservative. We haven't seen them in a couple weeks play against a very, very strong team other than when they lost against the Surge. Vienna last week looked a little bit vulnerable at times, the Panthers. So this one's going to be super interesting. I reckon this might be one of the games of the year, Nick, in terms of the build-up, the potential, the playoff implications, the talent as well. It's going to be cinema. It's going to be great.
Absolute cinema. And from our producer, Maxie says, take your eyes to the bottom left there of the team stats per game. The Paris Musketeers are first in passing yards allowed, rushing yards allowed, and points allowed. That Jack Del Rio defense has been flying around and has been a problem. However, Matt, like I said, when these two teams first did play each other, it was a shootout. Do you think it's going to be more of a shootout game, or do you think it's going to be more of a defensive struggle, or perhaps something in between? And what plays favor to Paris?
Okay, I think it's going to be a defensive showcase. I think
Okay.
both teams at the moment being phenomenal when it comes to their defensive output and the talent we have on defense as well, man. Like Lucky and Donkor, Timmy Nuka, you've got Huzar, you've got so many like players like Amor Lalo. That's just on Vienna. And then defensively on Paris, you've got obviously everyone. So like, I'm so excited. I could go on talking about names for the next 10 minutes. No one wants to hear me go on that much in depth. But this team, I'm going to favorite Karamoko, director Max, you just said about one of the best safeties in the league at the moment. Could be an all-star as a homegrown as well. It's insane for the Paris Musketeers. But I'm favoring Paris, I think.
Ooh,
You just got a little bit more to play for, you know what I mean? Vienna, they've got it. They could get number one seeds, a lot to play for. But they are going to be in the playoffs. Paris, this is it. You know, you've got to win.
Okay. So they got more on the line. Glenn, we got the man himself, Glenn Tunga, is in the chat. Glenn, who do you think, Mr. King Tunga? Who do you think is going to win this game? Joe Brown disagrees with you, Matt. He says Vienna Vikings by 3 points.
Not mad at it.
In here, Karen says, "Come on, Paris! I want the rematch in the playoffs between Munich and Paris." That's true. The Ravens are chomping at the bit to get that revenge from that game last year, which I did broadcast, Matt. One of the most fun ELF games that we had seen. That was a crazy one here. Okay. And I think, Matt, that this one that we're looking at for this weekend might be just as crazy. And you know what? Drum roll, please. I'm going Paris Musketeers as well. I just think it's do or die for them. There's a difference between playing for home field advantage in the playoffs and playing just to get into the playoffs. Paris have more on the lines. Yes, it would be awesome for Vienna to get that bye week and the home field, but there's just more incentive for a team just trying to claw their way into the playoffs. I think that extra little motivation here is going to come into play. Tight ball game, great ball game. We're both going Paris Musketeers on this one. Okay, Glenn. Glenn says I got my money on Paris as well. King Tunga, he's with us, Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, let me just say, everybody, I know everybody's going to be watching this game at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Just make sure you flip back to the Munich Panthers game that I'll be broadcasting as well. I know I'm broadcasting at the same time as this primetime game, but there's still stakes in that Panthers Ravens game. Isn't there, Karen? Don't you think people should tune back into my game as well?
It could be a trap game, you know. They may be a bit too comfortable. Could be a trap
game. Hey, they're also playing for their bye week there. Brendan Bolio, the man himself, first time, one of our best wide receivers in the league, is in the chat, and he says, is this going up on the screen there? I'm trying to throw it up. Jay Henney loves big games. These two boys played together in Potsdam in the GFL last week. Brendan, welcome to ELF Live Chat. Matt, are we not a huge fan of what this man has been putting on tape all season in the ELF?
We absolutely are. I mean, debut season-wise, phenomenal. And he's got, just like the quarterbacks he's been able to play with the last couple of years. You got Jay Henney, you also got Jadrian Clark, which is pretty incredible for a receiver to have that kind of pedigree when it comes to their quarterback talent.
Yeah, pretty damn awesome, man. So welcome to ELF Live Chats. And hey, you guys got a big one this weekend as well, Brendan. We'll be talking about your game in a second. All right, so we're both going Paris.
Yeah,
sneak their way into the playoffs. All right, moving on to our next game. Not as exciting. It can't all be the high-stakes game here. Okay, Matt, tell me. We got the Hamburg Sea Devils at the Berlin Thunder. The Berlin Thunder coming off the loss to the Fehervar Enthroners, giving them their first win of this season. What do you make of this game, Matt? Nothing really on the line for each of these teams, mostly playing for pride at this point. What do you got here?
See, I think that's the biggest thing, Nick, is that pride is sometimes bigger than any kind of playoff implication. These are rivalries that can be made. This is Hamburg and Berlin, two of the biggest cities in Europe, let alone Germany. Mm-hmm. So I think this could be, and also this is two teams in the same conference, not had the best seasons in terms of wins and losses, but a win against the other one would be huge, especially going into next season when it comes to the recruiting battle, which obviously I am a key person into looking into the recruiting battle for these two teams. I think, though, that this could be a sneaky, really fun game. Both of them obviously have issues when it comes to like quarterback, injuries. To Hamburg is just a list when it comes to that position. And then Berlin, obviously Jacob Sullivan's been out for a couple of games, but I think this has got sneaky good game attached to it, Nick. I think it could be a fun one.
Okay, Joe Brown says Berlin Thunder will run the ball. That's a sentence.
Oh my gosh,
That's a sentence
I've ever given.
in that order. Don't forget, we got Carlton Aiken Jr. playing for the Hamburg Sea Devils. Fun guy to watch. Who do you got in this one, Matt?
Oh, I'm going to go for Hamburg. I think they have a little bit. I don't know, man. They got Carl Kitchens. He's obviously going to be going for the sack record this week. That's going to be a big thing for him. And Isaiah Streeter really wants to be an all-star, and he has been that level of a safety this season. So I think he's going to be trying to put up some big numbers. Like, they have a lot of Chris McCarr. Just released a video, Nick. This has been a great segue. Just put up a video about Chris McCarr a couple hours ago about how good he has been this rookie season. This is another big thing. Foster and Kaya, both Rookie of the Year potential players, playing in the last game. Very similar statistical outputs, similar team statistical outputs and record. This could settle it. Seelig has been out for a little bit, so that Rookie of the Year is wide open.
It's wide open, Matt. Okay, interesting. All right, you're going Hamburg Sea Devils. I love everything that you said right there, and I do love Carlton Aiken Jr. It's fun when he's back in the league. I am unfortunately I'm gonna go against you, Matt, just to make it a little fun. Give me Berlin this week. Okay, bouncing back from the loss to the Enthroners. You know, they are at home. I don't know how great that home field advantage is for the Berlin Thunder, but let's just be on opposite sides of this one, Matt. A little tension in the air. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so that's who we've got in that little Northern Germany showdown, Matt. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this next game. Oh my goodness gracious. The Madrid Braavos coming up to, you know what, kind of the area that I live in now. I'm in Heidelberg. We're about 40 minutes away from Frankfurt, Germany. I might have to go check that out live in person. Playing the Frankfurt Galaxy. Man, a lot on the line. Both of these teams are fighting, clawing, scratching to try and sneak their way into the playoffs. Both of them need to win, and they each need a little bit of help to get into the playoffs. So it's not just what they don't control their own destiny in the same way that Paris does. They've got to win, and then they've got to watch some games, and a couple of things have to fall their way. Frankfurt beat Madrid earlier in the season. Right now, Madrid in the back half of their season playing these teams that they have to get a couple wins against. You know, they lost to Munich last week in a close one. They've got to beat Frankfurt here, man. What do you think? Where do you stand on this one?
Yeah, man. Oh my gosh. Like, also, by the way, does that make you a Frankfurt enthusiast if you live, Stuttgart Surge with your team before? Maybe you're a Frankfurt fan.
We all know that I'm a Stuttgart Surge homer, okay? And even if it destroys my credibility, I remain a loyal guy. Okay? I choose loyalty over credibility in this one.
The big thing here, though, is it's Wang. Like, the difference he has made, I don't know how. Also, Bijan Harris, I don't know how he keeps coming back to ELF mid-season and keeps making an impact, yet somehow people don't see it coming. Like, it's happened 2 years in a row now. But it is Wang. Like, he's going to decide this game for better or for worse, I think. He was phenomenal against Nordic. He was, fortunately, phenomenal against Prague, too. He was excellent. Got the MVP of the week in that week, too, by the way. He looked great. Madrid, defensively, have not been great. I do think against Munich, the defense kind of let them down. Madrid just drove up the field those last couple of minutes, ended up scoring. Madrid couldn't get over that. So this is going to be a big one. I think, though, I'm going to go for the Braavos, and I think Aaron Cruikshank is going to break records. And I think we're right at the second most touchdowns in the season by Mr. Reed Sinnett, because I think Jadron's like 7 or 8 away, but like still, he's going to probably finish second.
Interesting. All right. Chris Tebret has saying in the chat, come on, Wang, complete the comeback. Joe Brown says Madrid Braavos will win. Mike Mathis, what's up, Mike? Welcome into the chat here. He says, hi, guys. Man, I'm nervous for this weekend. Vienna's got to beat Paris, and then we have a direct final, Frankfurt, Madrid.
Oh, my gosh.
If Frankfurt makes it, I'll drink 3 liters of Epler cider. All right, so here's what needs to happen for both these teams. Each of them needs to win, okay, for them to get in. And you need to win. There we go. There's Frankfurt's right there. They need to win, and then they need Paris or Rhein-Fire to win. So that's what they need to happen. It's the same for Madrid. They need to win and then have Paris or the Rhein-Fire win, which I think there's a decent chance that one of those can happen. So essentially, I think there's a decent chance that whoever wins this game could be finding themselves in the playoffs, man.
Oh my gosh! Like I'm just thinking of all the different combinations because
Oof.
obviously one of those wins and the other, and then Paris or Ryan. If one of them goes out, I mean, I'm not trying to think now what happens in terms of playoff seedings of like the different combinations we could have, but
It is too much for the human brain to comprehend. Okay, we just have to live it and experience it. There's so many different things that could happen here.
this has
So
been the best playoff season, best playoff race ever. Last year, if you remember, we were talking about Munich versus Raiders, and that had all the playoff implications. But now we've
right.
got like 6 different things that could happen.
Yeah, man. And that one I called that game, and that one was a letdown. The Raiders dropped the ball figuratively and literally in that one.
Yeah.
Matt, I know we think Jameson Wang, he's been sort of a miracle maker there in Frankfurt, and I think they found their guy. I hope they do everything they can to get their claws in him and bring him back for next season. However, I think Reed Sinnett, Aaron Cruikshank, too powerful. I think that they are going to be able to come away with the win, even though they're on the road at the Purple Hell. It's a tough place to play. It's going to be a loud environment. And the Braavos did just go to Munich, which is also a tough place to play. And they played pretty damn well. Granted, they did not come away with the win, but they're used to playing these hostile German environments on the road. Andrew Weidinger, no stranger to that. Give me the Madrid Braavos in another really fun, tight game. We're on the same side there, Matt. We're on the same side.
Yeah.
I want to see. And you know what? I just want to see the Madrid Bravos in the playoffs, man. They're a fun team.
I agree. Like they're so electric. They might be the most entertaining or one of the most entertaining teams we've ever seen in the ELF.
Yeah.
I mean, Andrew Weindinger's offenses always are, but like the fact the defense hasn't been great has kind of led to some very fun moments.
Hey,
good.
Nothing more fun than a great offense with a lackluster defense. Way to go, Coach Weidinger. All right, so we both got the Bravos. Next game, Matt, your Prague Lions, who unfortunately are no longer in the playoff conversation. But hey, they're looking at trying to finish at 7-5, which, let's be real, I think they're going to do. They're playing the Mercenaries, who are winless. Let's talk about the Prague Lions, man. They're very likely going to finish at 7-5. That's unbelievable. They won one game last season, sort of set the blueprint. We've seen a couple turnarounds in the ELF. The Stuttgart Surge in 2023, huge turnaround, and now the Prague Lions here in 2025. What can you tell us about this, Matt? What's the Prague Lions, man? That's pretty awesome.
It is. I think this means everything, right? We've had this great playoff race and everything that's happened with that, but also just the quality of teams throughout the league that have improved has been a big thing. And Prague have kind of been like the poster child of that, of like you can, and just kind of a sign of how quick the ELF can change, as we mentioned. You can go from a team that realistically, because they got one win through forfeit, won one game in 2 years, which is just not good, of course. And it was only by like one, I think it's by 3 points against for Hervar Enthroners. This year, they have won potentially 7 games, which is insane. A lot of people didn't believe it. You didn't believe it, Nick. You went 0-6 at the start of the year on FIBA.
Oh, that doesn't sound like me. That doesn't sound like me. RT Blues is with you, Matt. He said, who predicted 7 wins for Prague this season? Oh, yeah, that was me.
Yeah, RT, what a legend. And he's a legend in Prague too, RT. So this is a big one. But in terms of this game, right, some props to watch. First of all, Willie P potentially going for an all-star vote. I think potentially even Offensive Player of the Year. You look at all the stuff that he's done for this Prague team. He's been electric all season, maybe even Special Team Player of the Year as well. Adam Zazelka, who I think is a franchise running back. I've said this from the very start. Didn't have a great offensive line. Never put up crazy numbers. Had some injury issues. This year, he's second in the league with 861 yards. This could be his 1,000-yard season, which I would love. Because if anyone in this team that went through the trials and tribulations of the Prague Lions over the last few years, it's been Adam Zazelka. I think that he deserves so much credit. I think he's an all-star running back this season. It's been like, it's so good to see all these players that deserve this like attention and these all-star numbers and everything. So this has been a magical season for Prague and a great year for all those coaching staff as well that also deserve their
absolutely big props to them. I think you and I are both going to go Prague Lions on this one, huh, Matt?
Absolutely. Not going to go against them now. That'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Real quick, not to look backwards too much, but Glenn had a great question here. This is going back to the Frankfurt Madrid game, I do believe. Question: what implications does this game have on the MVP race? Because I think, Matt, that Reed Sinnett is certainly in the conversation of MVP. If he wins this game and secures his team into the playoffs there, you think he's the MVP favorite?
I don't know. I think Sinner has been fantastic. 44 touchdowns, 4 interceptions is remarkable efficiency. He leads in yards as well. He's also just got the most yards in the LF history. He's been phenomenal. 72% completion. I know I'm just reading out numbers. You can go and watch the tape. He looks just as good on tape. In fact, some of those interceptions weren't even his fault because they hit off the hands of players and get picked off. I think he does have a very strong argument for MVP. I think Cruikshank as well, being as good and as dominant as he has been, could be MVP. Some people, Nick, feel like you cannot be MVP if you didn't make the playoffs. I want to know your opinion on that. I think you can be, personally.
Well, this is interesting because we also had this conversation in the NFL last year with Joe Burrow, for example, who had an MVP level season statistically in his personal performance, but his team didn't make the playoffs. It's tough, man. I think it depends. I don't think that you can just make a concrete black and white rule. I think that it's fair to have a person who doesn't make the playoffs. If they've got a team that's, on the cusp there and they've done everything in their power to get them in position, at least they deserve to be in the conversation. I don't think that you can cut and dry black and white say that they can't be in it. Marcus is here. He says, dang it, I'm late. Go Surge. Send it to win it. Marcus, welcome in. We already talked about the Surge. So they're going to win. So there we have it. Just a good little interesting tidbit there. Thanks, Glenn, for bringing us to that. All right, let's move on. Got 2 more games. This next one, let's be quick, Matt. We've got the Centurions Raiders. I don't have much to say about the Centurions. I'm picking the Raiders.
Nice. Me too. I think Raiders put a bunch of youth into this one would be my thing. Raiders have a great youth academy. We'll see some of those youth prospects. Actually, maybe not all of them because we want to keep some for maybe rookie of the year next year. But good opportunity to get some young guys in the field.
Yep, there we go. So give us both Raiders on this one, Maxie. Throw it up. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. You know what? We're moving on to our last game, which is another massive, massive one. It is the Nordic Storm at the Rhine Fire. The first time that these two teams played, it was a 1-point ball game. Nordic came back from, I think, a 12 or 13-point deficit in the second half. Awesome, awesome game. This one's also got a lot of playoff implications here, I believe. Let me pull it up. All right. Rhine Fire, they control their own destiny. Win, and they are in. The Nordic Storm are playing for a bye and for home field, or they've got home field advantage secured. They're playing for a bye. They're playing for one of those 1 or 2 seeds here. Matt, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Glenn, chime in here, Glenjamin. We want to hear what's the vibe with the Nordic Storm, because they're playing the Rhine Fire the first time for you guys. It was a challenge. You guys had a great comeback, but it was a challenge. Matt, talk to me. Glenn, there's a little delay here, so I want you to write it in the chat as well. What do you got, Matt?
Here we go. So I obviously have connections with both teams. I know people inside both buildings, right? Here's what I'm hearing. I don't want to give any sources as well, obviously, because I'll get in trouble with set people. However, Rhine Fire, I feel like they're very confident right now. They've got all the momentum. They got a couple good wins. They've looked a lot better over the last couple of weeks. Currently on a 3-win streak as well, especially that win against the Raiders. They looked pretty dominant, I'd say, against a very good team. They only lost by 1 point in this one last time. They had some fumbles, some costly issues. They arguably could have walked away with a win on that one, right?
They could have.
Yeah, they could have. They definitely could have. The Nordic Storm, what I'm hearing is they look a little bit complacent. And we've talked about all the way through this about how complacent they look. This doesn't sound like a hot take. But some of these people I've been talking to are maybe looking past the Rhine Fire and thinking about, oh, well, we're going to be the 1 seed because we're going to beat Rhine. We'll be fine. Going to get that bye week. I don't know about how I like that. I want teams to be looking at Rhine Fire more seriously because this could be a big upset game. I think the Rhine Fire may be looking like the favorites currently.
Oh, Matt Bressington. Wow, calling out the Nordic Storm. Complacency.
Potential complacency. And it's in Dusseldorf, which we know how good those fans are.
Yeah, that is a tough place to play. Nordic's quarterback, Jadrian, is no stranger to that place. It's kind of interesting. It's a little bit similar to the Paris and Vienna Vikings game because Vienna and Nordic are both playing for the bye, right? And Fire and Paris are both playing to get into the playoffs, which I do think, and I think you agree, is a little bit more of an incentive, a little bit more desperation, a little bit more do or die in that situation there. Glenn says, man, we're ready for this. We are excited. Joe Brown says, Ryan Fire, we got our kicker back, and Nordic Storm kicking game is not good, so the Fire will win because we are still the champions. Joe Brown, very, very confident. Very, very confident there. So, Matt, if we look back to that previous game, yeah, the Fire were looking pretty darn good. Storm were struggling for a while, but then they had that great comeback there. One of the better comebacks we've seen this season. Ultimately, what do you think?
I might change my mind in 20 minutes time as I tend to do, but I'm going to go for the Ryan Fire, I think, right now. I think that home field advantage is going to be a big one. I think, like you say, there's a difference between first seed potential and you might not make the playoffs, which for some teams like the Galaxy or for Prague or for the Raiders, not making the playoffs, it's not good. For the Ryan Fire, this is a problem. You know, you've won 2 times in a row. This was meant to be the 3-peat year. If you miss the playoffs, it's going to be huge. So I think they're going to be going for it. They've got a very experienced roster, very experienced coaching staff. I think they get it done.
Yeah, Glenn, Brendan, plug your ears, brothers. I'm also going to go for the Ryan Fire, and I just think there's more on the line for the Fire. There is more. Desperation is not the right word, but just they have to. The Ryan Fire cannot not make the playoffs. It will create a tear in the fabric of the universe, and everything will implode. Okay, so I think the Ryan Fire there. You know what's interesting, Matt? So we're both going Ryan Fire on this one. We predicted then both that Paris and the Ryan Fire would win their games. Those are the 2 winning in. And you know who that leaves looking out on the outside?
Madrid. Yeah.
Madrid, which a little bit sad there. I don't know, man. It's tough, man. There's a lot of different things that are going to happen that we would like to see. But there we have it. And here you can see right there that beautiful graphic of the situations for all the teams, the winning in, the winning a little help there. Matt, which game are you looking forward to most this weekend?
Oh, my God.
You have to pick one. It's tough. There's 3 that have so much on the line. And I know you want to say my game, the Ravens-Panthers game, because you know I'm just going to bring so much value and energy to that one. You can't pick my game either.
Fair. I think that, oh, my gosh, what a question. I think I'm leaning towards Nordic Storm versus Ryan Fire. I think, there's a ton of obviously former players on the Nordic side now in Dusseldorf. I think that's going to create just super loud, heavy environment. But also, man, the Galaxy got like over 7,000 tickets sold for that game. So that's going to be a loud one as well.
Hey, Glenn is unhappy with us. He said, wow. Listen, Glenn, I think we would have picked a little bit differently if Glenn Tunga was playing. Okay?
True.
Actually, what this is, a compliment to you, my friend. Okay, this is why we can't pick him without Glenn. So there we have that. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that Ryan Fire Nordic game is going to be incredible. Gosh, Paris Vienna though too, man. I mean, just a lot of good ball, a lot of good ball for this weekend. So final weekend of the regular season. We are going to take a quick little ad break. And then we're going to come back with our question of the week and our fantasy football rosters. Pay attention to this ad, bud. Shout out to Euronics and Egret for sending this scooter. You know what? I might just be faster than the fastest player of the week on this thing.
Turns upfield. He's across the 20 to the 30, 40. He's to the 50. It's a foot race.
Well, maybe.
Discover it at Euronics. Oi.
Thank you. Yes, I know. I am a star actor in the scooter ad. I appreciate that. Thanks, Matt.
Oscar goes too.
There we go. So shout out to Euronics. And speaking of Euronics, we got the Euronics and LG question of the week. You guys know the drill. They do a social media post every week, and you can comment under that, and maybe your question will be good enough to be featured as the question of the week. This week's question of the week from Aiden Stephenson on Instagram. Assuming the divisions stay the same, what interconference games would be the best to see next year? I like that. That's a good one there. Maxie, if we have the divisions or conferences, could you throw that up just so everybody can get a little visual here? First one that jumps to my mind, Matt, I would love to see a Stuttgart Surge Nordic Storm matchup. What do you think of that?
That would be fun. No, I would like that a lot. That's two legends as well. Like
there we go.
The European scene at the moment. I think that'd be fun. I like something like the Paris Musketeers versus Munich Ravens. I think would be fun to me. You know, a defense that's very strong, an offense that's really strong. I'd like to see that. But then even you could go to the reverse side and say someone like Panthers versus someone like Raiders. You know, two very heavy run offenses.
Right.
From that one, that could also be fun. A lot of great divisional matchups that could be in the works for that one.
Who would you like? And chat, if you've got anything, put it in. Let us know which one that you have desire to see. Matt, who would you like the Prague Lions to play in an intra-conference matchup? Who would be a good one for?
I think the Raiders would be fun. Like, I think the Raiders would be fun. It'd be hard, though, because that run game is so good. But I think it would be an interesting game. I know Ricardo would be very, very on me about that one, saying the Raiders would blow them out. But I think, you know, the Raiders are on 3-loss streak, first and foremost. So I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be good to see that one. I think that would probably be my favorite.
Hey, Glenn's got here Nordic versus T-Roll. And T-Roll's got to figure a little bit of stuff out, all right? But they do have a lot of great potential there. So I kind of like that one as well. So there we have it. Assuming that they stay the same, those would be some interesting matchups. All right. So, Matt, I need a little bit of help here, man. We got to build out my fantasy team. You guys know it's the last week of the regular season, and I've got to build a fantasy team here, okay? Mm-hmm. So, Maxie, can we pull that up? Do we have me? Matt, walk me through here, okay? And chat, if you guys have any advice to help me build my fantasy squad. Who do you think, man? Who should we look for quarterback this week?
Ooh, see, I think there's a few options, right? I've gone for Javarian Smith. I think this is going to be a big game for him. You know, next season this is effectively his last opportunity to maybe look for another contract. So I think he's going to be playing for a big one. But of course, you can never really go wrong with someone like Reed or Jadrian, someone who puts up big numbers, heavy passing offenses. I'm going to leave a little bit of ambiguity for who you want to go for.
You know what? You know what to go? I mean, Reed is great. I actually think, and I had him last week, I'm going to go Jameson Wang again.
Okay.
Bravo's defense is not great. They're in do or die mode, both of these teams. And Wang is, unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of the wealth that you have with your cap space, Matt. I've got to think about my money. So Wang is about $800,000 cheaper than Sinnott. So I'm going to go Wang on this one. Okay. Chat, what do we think? Let me help us out here. All right, let's talk wide receiver 1, Matt.
It's going to be Cruikshank, right? Absolute freak. It's got to be him. You could put Bolio in there. I think John Cole, volume receiver, 3-level threat. He's going to be everywhere. It was on like Dal Stewart's looking at 1,000 yards, so he could be someone.
Interesting there. What about Brevin Easton?
Brevin Easton, great call, but I mean, yeah, I'm not mad at that. He's been a revelation. Even someone like Willie P. You know,
Matt, you got to remember, I can't always be buying the most expensive player. I want that Aaron Cruikshank. Look, okay, I'm playing with a clipped wing here, brother.
This is true. You could go someone like Sullivan from Raiders playing a weaker secondary.
You know what?
Last week.
Give me Brevin Easton, and then let's go Sullivan. That's true. I like that because we got to be. Let's see how far down is he. Let's see. Tell me if you see him. No,
he is somewhere. I mean, you can feel. I don't know. He's somewhere. I can't see you. It's a bit foggy for me.
He was on slide 2. All right, thanks, Maxie.
There you go. Also, you're a weird guy, right? You don't play with a tight end, but are you going to play?
Oh, no. I don't play with a kicker. I don't play with a kicker.
Who are you going to go for, a running back at flex or a receiver at flex?
Ooh. Off meta says go with Harlan.
Oh, he can be flex.
Yeah. Should we go Harlan at flex? Do we have that kind of money?
You tell me.
I usually go receiver at flex. All right, let's get a little value here at running back, Matt. Let's get a little value.
I think Zuzelka could be the guy. They're going to be giving him the ball. They always do because he's a red zone threat. 8 touchdowns.
I'm with you. Also, not so expensive. We got to be frugal here.
Exactly.
Damn, we only have 3 million left, Matt.
Oh, okay. You're going to have to go super cheap for the next running back.
Now you see, I gotta let's find a tight end.
Yeah.
Damn, is Beer Bomber really that cheap?
He might be the guy then. He's going to probably score. He's an absolute monster of a tight end.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's go. Let's see what we're looking at here. All right, defense. Where can we get some value defensively, Matt?
Yeah, Prague could be the guy. Raiders could be a 1. They've got.
I kind of like the Prague Lions, man. Going against Helvetic.
That's what I've got as well. That's
there we go. Get Sullivan. There we go, Joe. We got Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
Is fourth down fiasco Danny still winning? Matt, tell the people about Danny. What's going on with Danny?
So fourth down fiasco, if you guys aren't listening to that podcast and following that stuff on social media, you absolutely should. They make great stuff. However, he is currently first. Mr. Danny is first. You can see there the Vikings Vantage. But he's only first by 3 points, Nick. 3 points is a difference.
See that right there? That right there? Vikings Vantage. Look at this, man, right here. And then, hey, let's draw our attention, everybody, down. Matt Bressington clinging on to the top 10, brother.
I'm clinging on. It's a close one. I need 30 points to move up a spot, which looks unrealistic. So I went for a bit of like a rogue fantasy just at last. I'm risking it all. Either I'm going to finish like top 10 or I'm not going to finish top 10. I know that sounds stupid to say, but I'm going for the risks.
That's right, Matt. Those are the two options. You either finish top 10 or you don't. Same with me, man. I don't think I'm going to finish top 10. I'm currently sitting at 235.
Oh, yeah, not great.
Not the best here. All right, Matt, my last player, I've got 890K. I need an RB2. I need an RB2, and we got to go cheap. We got to go cheap. Let's sort by
for 800K. All right, let me see what I can do for you.
See what you can do for me, man. We got to really get here in the all right. All right, here's our range. Here's our price range. What do we have exactly? 890.
You've got realistically no one. Yeah, that maybe you shift around.
Should I go no RB2 and go a kicker then?
See, I think you got to go cheaper on Wang. I think you swap out Wang. No disrespect to him, but he's an expensive quarterback right now.
Well, Matt, all quarterbacks are $3 million.
True, but I think you maybe you know what you want. Do you want to hear something a little rogue?
Lars Heydrich.
I was about to say Lars Heydrich.
Yeah. All right, we're going to do that, everybody. We're going to do that. We're going to go Lars Heydrich because, sorry, Wang. Sorry, brother. You're going to play great. Give me Lars.
Put your faith in Lars. I'm sure he'll love that as well.
Yep, there we go. All right, hold on now. Where is he? Where's our man? Oh, that's why I was
so like even Carlton Aiken is less than $1 million, by the way.
Carlton Aiken is?
Yeah, he's 800. He's 980,000.
Damn, you know what? I'm gonna go Carlton. Sorry, Lars, just because I know that Carlton is gonna start and Lars is gonna play, but I don't know if he's gonna start.
True.
Look at that there, Matt. Now we've got money for an RB2. And you know what? You know who I want? He's looking at me right here, Justice Seelig.
There you go. There's your guy.
Okay.
Baller.
You know what? I might even have some money for a kicker. I never usually do.
How much money you got?
I got 650,000. All right, we'll go.
You can get a kicker. You get a Raiders kicker. They play against Cologne.
Let's see. Now the most I can get here's the most expensive that I can get right here. What do you think? Who do we got here?
I mean, Laura's is 590.
Let's grab him. Perfect.
That's what I've got. That's what I'm running with.
There we go. And there's the squad, guys. There's my squad. Okay. Yeah. So make sure you guys lock in your fantasy before the games tomorrow. Oh, all right, Matt, man, this was our final regular season show of 2025, man. Everybody, big weekends. Got some games to lock into. Matt, you got any final words for the people?
Tune in, watch every single game from start to finish. Watch the Panthers versus Munich to hear some elite commentary skills. That's all I've got. I'm not sure what else. I don't know.
Hey, the Panthers Munich game is the most important one, man. I'm going to be trying to have some storytelling in there, so make sure you tune in to that one. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Lock in this weekend. A lot of fun stuff, and we'll see you back here on Monday with some drama. Peace.